You're listening to the Awks Talk
Awks Talk.
Awks Talk.
podcast.
Welcome to the Awks Talk with your hosts
Shahano.
and Jessica. And we have a
We have a special guest today.
Yes, our friend.
And
Hey guys. Happy
Welcome,
to be
welcome.
here.
yeah.
Good. We're friends from elementary since like grade 5. Well, technically we weren't like real friends until high school because of like our friend group. So yeah,
Wow.
long time. Lourdes.
Oh lol. And I met Shahano through Jessica. Oh, because we also worked in the same store back then. And
Yeah.
Basically like 8 years ago
yeah.
because we've been together for 8 years. So
Well, I met you 7 years ago because I think you were working for a year before I met Anne.
no, we've been together for 8 years already.
Yeah, I know.
So
But I didn't meet Anne until she started working at.
So like your second year of a relationship, right?
Yeah.
really?
Like, I met you.
No, well,
Yeah,
we met.
Because I only met Letitia like 6 months into our relationship.
You all met at my birthday that year. So
Yeah,
it's still 8 years.
fine. Technically, we met.
Yeah,
just
no,
never
I met,
talked.
fine. It's like friends like 2 years ago. But yeah. Anyways, today we're talking about situationships and such. And I
Yeah.
don't really know what it means.
Yeah,
I've heard the term, but
Yeah.
this is a definition. A romantic or sexual relationship that is not considered to be formal or established. And there's a quote here, I'll read it because it's like funny. I'm trying to turn our situationship into something more serious. So what I didn't really get was like what's the difference between like situationship and like friends with benefits. But I guess friends with benefits is like labeled already as
Yeah.
like you're doing
Situationship
stuff
is like
or whatever,
an
right?
unlabeled relationship, right? It's kind of like you guys are just in a situation together and it's undefined because a lot of the traits when I read about it are like about no communication, no labels. So like at least like with like FWBs or like open relationships or whatever, at least there's still a label there, you know, so you don't feel bad or you can move on or you know it's not serious. But with a situationship, it's like there's no label, so there's so much confusion in it, right?
Well, situationships can actually, friends with benefits can lead into situationships.
Yeah, that too.
Right. I mean, it's not just basically people sleeping together, you
Mhm.
know, it's when you
Mhm.
start doing stuff together that makes it seem like you're a couple, but you're not really a couple officially.
Yeah. I mean, to give a great example would be like someone could be, or two people could be in a friends with benefits relationship, and then one person catches feelings, and then now you're kind of in a situationship because the person that doesn't want to relate, and then if you guys never talk about it, you know, like say you're the one that caught feelings and you don't talk about it, your feelings with the partner, you're in a situationship at that point, you know, so it's
Could be a very toxic thing,
Yeah.
actually. And situationships can last as long as a relationship can last.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised just how many guys can last in a situationship.
Yeah, well, I feel like, we were talking about it, about men versus women or whatever, but I think, like, situationships are, like, a perfect situation for a dude, you know, kind of thing, where it's, like, there's no strings attached, there's no labels, there's nothing, right? But I'm just getting free sex and getting what I want. Like, everything I would get in a relationship, I'm getting it from this person, and none of the responsibilities that come with a relationship, right? So it's like, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's just perfect for only men. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
women
Like-
can also benefit from it, right? Like
Yeah.
I've heard, you know, stories of women basically like, you know, leading guys on and never
Yeah.
defining anything because, you know, they need something from them in that moment.
Yeah. No, I know, but what I'm saying is, like, I feel like, no, I completely agree. Definitely both sides. I'm not like discriminating against either. But what I'm saying is, I think for men, they can go on forever, right? For women, it's different because you guys have a biological clock and all that kind of stuff. So it's like eventually you're gonna have to be in a relationship if you want a family, right? So that's got to end. Your situationship's got to end, or you leading on another man, whatever, has to end eventually, right? But like for a dude, like he can just be with a girl, leading a girl on forever and not care, right? If he never wants kids or anything like that, right?
Well, I think most of it is, because men know that they have somebody there in that moment.
Yeah.
But when they meet, they eventually meet somebody else that they think, oh, this chick's wifey material.
Yeah.
I can just go and leave this other girl, and
Yeah.
then I'll go with her and try out my luck, right?
Yeah.
And for women, it's different because I feel that women in general have this mindset where they think that, oh, you know what, if I stick around long enough, maybe he'll change his mind because, we're doing a lot of stuff together, we're talking a lot more, and maybe things will progress and I'll grow on him. But
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way for men.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I got some 10 signs you are stuck in a situationship. As you were saying, basically things don't progress. So
Yeah.
makes sense. You are not integrated into his life.
Yeah.
You don't go on actual dates, so it's like whatever. Like I guess
You're
like
just coming to hook up
staying
or
in or whatever, right?
yeah.
The convention is superficial.
Yeah.
I'll read this one because I'm not sure about this one. It's like when things stay at a surface level, that shows that the person is not taking the time to get to know you or share parts of themselves with you. Without connection, vulnerability, and emotional intimacy, things cannot progress. These are the foundations for connection and meaningful romantic relationships.
So you don't have that.
Yes, it's superficial. It's just
Yeah.
like for looks.
Just like no, it's like a surface level relationship,
Yeah.
right?
Number 5, plans are inconsistent and not planned in advance. So it's like,
This-
yo, want to
this
meet
one's-
up, whatever.
Yeah, but this one's kind of weird because it's like you and me even we never planned our meetings or like
But-
dates and all that.
We
kind
never
of
went on
stuff,
dates
right?
in general.
Yeah, yeah, but-
because we like just hung
But
out
like that
after
one
work or something.
doesn't seem like a
But it's more like, I guess it's playing on the notion that, okay, well, if a guy really wants to spend time with you, he'll make the time to spend with you.
Yeah.
But like, if he always flakes on you last minute or always seems to have something else come up.
or if his plans with you are just last minute, right?
Yeah.
Then it's yeah. But I mean, like the thing is, it's like I don't know. I feel like that's not exclusive to situationships. That's why you have to be careful with that point. Because like some people are just like that. Like that's just their personality. They might be great people, but they're just flaky or what. And I understand what you're saying. Like if a man truly likes you, they'll make time for you. But like, yeah, it's not necessarily true. Because some people are like super introverts. So it takes them a lot to even go out. Like stuff like that.
I guess.
Like I mean, even you and me, Jess. Like I was super you were like pulling hairs trying to get me to go out and do stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's just who I was. But
Anyways, it's just one of the signs. But like, I don't know. Yeah, well, I like to think that's like the whole they'll make time for you.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, it shows that they're interested, basically. That if you're planning in advance, it's like, oh, you have something to look forward to in the future.
Yeah.
Like you're scheduling something because there's a future thing, rather than just like having a 9 p.m. meetup randomly or whatever, right?
yeah,
Anyways, there's no future talk, so yeah, self-explanatory. You have not had the DTR, define the relationship talk.
Yeah,
basically,
this is
like, try to avoid it.
I think
or,
that's
like, you
the
just-
major one that
Yeah.
puts you into a situationship. By the way, I've only like Anne brought this topic to us. We've never heard of it before, so it's like I'm still like processing my feelings about this. But it's like I think from what I read, and like we'll give a couple examples on TV shows if you know about later on. But it's like I think that's one of the major points. It's like the lack of communication and not defining your relationship. So it's like it's kind of like your whole relationship is just in limbo, and that's what makes it a situationship, right?
Number 8, you don't have a special event date partner. So you find yourself at
Yeah,
family dinners, holidays, weddings,
By
and other
yourself,
events
yeah.
where you would hope to have a date, but all by yourself.
Yeah.
So usually
So-
you automatically have that person you're supposed to. If you
Mhm.
like, if you're in a situation like you're seeing this person or whatever, and it's like, oh, I can't take them on to my family event or something, then it's probably a situationship.
Yeah.
Or like you never, okay, like let's say you've been, with this person for a year and you've never ever met at least one of their parents
Yeah.
or like one of their
Or
friends.
even their friends, yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a red flag there.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to wonder, does he have friends? I mean,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have friends, so
Anyways.
I'm not looking for sympathy.
Okay. There is no concrete proof you are a couple. His friends have never heard of you. Oh, dry.
oh,
His family does not know you exist. There's no sign of you on his social media.
Yeah, I think this one is more like it's like when you think of someone, you don't automatically couple them up. Like sometimes it's like when you invite someone to a party, it's like you assume their partner's coming because you know them. It's like, okay, like, oh, you're bringing thing, right? You just automatically have that in your head. But sometimes it's like you think of someone and you don't even think about their partner. It's like, oh, I invite you and then just you, and like I forget about your partners even coming, right? So when they come, it's like a surprise or
but that's
something.
different. I think
Yeah.
it's like, you've never even met them. So
Yeah.
how can they
Yeah,
know
yeah,
about
yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, going back to like number 9, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, they're kind of like hiding you because they think
Or,
it's
yeah.
it's not a
Or,
real
yeah, hiding
thing
you
to
too.
them.
That's a good one, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, if you're ashamed, like
Yeah.
if you feel like your partner's ashamed of you, then that is a very major red flag.
Yeah. For sure.
Last one. You are anxious or bored a lot of the time. When you don't have regular dates, phone calls, or text messages, that inconsistency can ultimately get to you and leaving you feeling anxious.
Yeah.
Also, when you just hang out at each other's places and there's no romance, that can lead to boredom. If you're feeling these things, that can be a sign that you are in a situationship that isn't on the right track towards becoming something more meaningful.
Yeah.
You're stagnant, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, like, talking from personal experience, I guess, if you are in a situation where you constantly just see each other for one thing and one thing only, and, we're all human, so eventually, and I guess if part of your like long-term life plan is to have a family and to settle down and to date someone, you're gonna want those things eventually, and you're gonna want those things out of that person probably. But if things don't really progress, maybe past the 1 year, and
Yeah.
they don't wanna, take it to the next level, and they have no intentions of doing so, then that's when, obviously.
I think a lot of it too, and the reason why it gets prolonged for so long is fear. Fear is a big aspect of it too, right? Like you don't want to lose this person because you have feelings, but at the same time, it's like they're hurting you by not moving forward, right? So it's like you have this fear of, should I just stay like this? And like maybe it'll, and then fear, hope, all those things, right? But I think fear is the biggest aspect. Like I don't want to ruin what we have by talking about it, kind of thing, which it could. And I think you said something about like rejection too, like fearing maybe getting rejected if you do bring it up too, right? That's a big one.
Which is like, if you're used to a certain pattern in your life where you are meeting all these guys, but you find that, oh, nothing ever progresses in these situations, it, might want to take a look at why you're falling into that trap, why
Yeah.
you're never progressing. Is it because, you're constantly seeking unavailable men subconsciously?
Yeah, there's a lot of, yeah, I mean, like the thing is, it's like I see a lot of like podcasts or shows where a lot of women, I mean, the shows I'm watching deal with women, right? But it's like a lot of women like don't, like they say out loud, oh, like, I'm dating all these toxic men, blah, 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 but they're not willing to change the way they date, so it's kind of like now you're just you're subconsciously dating toxic men because that's the pattern and that's what you're comfortable with, right? I think on episode 2 we talked about comfort zones, something I talked to you about, And your comfort zone is like your own prison, you know? We build up walls all the time by things we're comfortable with. And when we say no to things, right? And all that, and you build up these walls, and we build up these walls to protect ourselves, right? But at the same time, while we're trying to protect ourselves from the world, we're actually trapping ourselves in a little room, you know, and we're not able to kind of get out of it, you know, and that's it's a big problem with, you know, doing things unconsciously, because now you're just, you know, doing things that seem comfortable to you, seem normal to you, and then when you kind of step out of that comfort zone, like even like accidentally, like maybe accidentally you find a good guy, it's like you either sabotage it or you don't know what's going on. You think something's wrong because it's right.
Yeah.
You know, because it's not your comfort zone. You're not used to it. And it's something you really, really like. It takes a lot of self-care and self-awareness to kind of understand it and realize it, and, you know, like focus on what's triggering it and all those kind of things. And that's really important. And that's why I think like the whole self-love topic was a big one for me, where I thought, you know, where I was saying how like I don't believe in like self-love, but self-awareness, you know, self-appreciation and those kind of things, where you're actually getting to know yourself over just blindly loving yourself, you know, is more important. But yeah, now we're going off topic.
Well, I guess we kind of touched on personal experience, so I'll ask: would you ever, or sorry, were you in one personally? Well, we can start with you because I don't think you
Me?
have. Were you in a situationship?
A situationship. Like the thing is like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna waste anyone's time. No.
Okay.
Because like I was like yeah, no, because like the thing is, it's like there's a lot of things that make me like angry when it comes to like dating and all that kind of stuff, but like all the things that make me angry or like upset about, I've never experienced. Yeah. How about you, Jess?
A situationship? No, I think it was more like a friends with benefits, or basically an on and off relationship.
Whoa.
More than anything.
It's the first time I'm hearing about this.
It's obviously not you, but
Friends with benefits.
yeah. Well, I mean, it was just, you know,
Oh.
yeah. Basically, it's just a relationship that never actually ended. It would just go on, but
Are you
like
talking about like your
yes.
elementary school
No.
boyfriend that
No.
you're still like that I'm cheating on you with?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. We talked about it on the podcast before.
Who's
where,
cheating? What?
Where Jessica like has a boyfriend from elementary school that
No,
you
no,
never
no.
broke up with.
No.
So I was like, what? I'm cheating on him with you?
I don't think I've
Sure,
ever
no, I
heard
never
that.
You know who he.
Oh.
Do you know who he is?
I feel
Oh,
like
you do. You don't
I
know
do.
who he is. Elementary.
Oh yes, I
Anyways.
feel like I do.
But no, I'm just saying. Basically, it's a relationship that just it never ended, even though I kind of wanted it to, and it's just toxic and not great. So just continued being there, and I like. You didn't really know what it was. It was basically just us kind of still being together, but not really to other people, because it's like. Anyways, it's not ideal, obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the very definition of a situation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
all right, go on. Go.
So yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if I've ever been in one. It's just, it's very, I don't know, like when you're in that moment, you just don't realize it, right? But I guess it starts to become sort of a situationship if you ever start having feelings for that person, which I guess, yes, maybe. I've been in one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the thing I was talking about, like when I said like sometimes you start off at friends with benefits, and in friends with benefits relationships, whoever catches feeling first is always going to be the loser in that situation, right? Unless they're the more dominant person, right? So it's like, yeah, in your situation, you were the more passive person, and I don't even know if you guys were in an open relationship. It was just, I think it was just a situationship where it was just undefined. You guys weren't talking it out with each other, and it was just so open, you know, like no one knew how to classify you guys.
Well, it wasn't an open. Well, I
No, I don't think it
yeah,
was.
it wasn't. Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway,
Jeez.
really, maybe for him or I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like even like thinking about it now, I can't even define what you guys were.
Yeah, I guess that too.
Right?
It's like a situation.
You guys weren't boyfriend girlfriend. You guys weren't in an open relationship
Mm-hmm.
because it was more committed than that. But you guys weren't as committed as a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it was like weird. Yeah, that was that relationship was definitely a situationship. Yeah. Go.
So, how has it affected you? Like mindset, mental health wise?
Oh, it's been like a few years, right? So honestly, it's very kind of emotionally damaging in a way. Like in terms of dating, when you have been in a toxic situation like that for a while, it kind of, and you don't know how to deal with your emotions after, and you're just trying to distract yourself from it. I think that's what I was in, sorry, mentally, was that I was just trying to distract myself and, try to feel better about that situation. But
Yeah.
obviously it hasn't worked, and I've learned a lot of lessons since then. So I think now mentally I'm okay. I mean, sometimes I do feel like it's been a struggle to try to be positive, because when you leave a situationship, it really wreaks havoc on your self-esteem and your confidence,
Yeah.
and it makes you feel worthless in a sense. But that's not, you're not worthless,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with you. It's just, and that they were just not right for you
Yeah.
in that sense.
I think a big part of healing when it comes to getting over something and all that kind of stuff, sometimes we feel like we are healed or we're healing and all that kind of stuff, and then you get a glimpse of something and then you feel like you're just right back as to where you started and stuff like that. But it's important to remember like how you've grown, because like healing is a process, and that's okay. Sometimes it's okay to kind of think about that situation you were in and be like, oh fuck, and just be really sad and down about it. That's a part of healing, crying it out. All, like things could have happened, like even like regrets and stuff, like like things happen like years and years ago, but they still, sometimes you just think about it and you just are caught off guard and you still feel something, right? And that's okay. That's a part of healing. You got to allow yourself to feel that and remember all the growth you've put in, like where you were when it happened to where you are right now, and that'll help you kind of get over those feelings as well.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. Is, you can't invalidate your own feelings.
Yeah.
That's the one sure way that you're gonna put a hamper on your
growth.
yeah, on your
And the healing. Yeah.
So if anything, you're worth it.
Yeah.
Respect yourself,
Yeah.
and the right man or woman will come along.
The right person will come along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll come along, and
Yeah.
they'll see that you're you're at your best self. So
Yeah. I was like, when we were talking about situationships, we were trying to look at positives and negatives, and I was like on the stance where it's like, there's what kind of positives can there be in being in a situationship?
I don't think, like, I don't know, you're trying to search, but basically, because it's like, I don't think there are any positives of situationship, because that definition is like, well, I guess the definition is like, it's basically undefined.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for like a hookup, one night stand, like rebound, then, and you're both like agreed to that, then that's fine. If you guys are both hurting or trying to heal, it's not really good for you. But I mean, like, if you're just trying to make it feel good for that one night or whatever it
Yeah.
is, then you'll feel maybe a little more confident, or like, oh yeah, someone wants me, someone loves me, blah blah blah, right? Not like that, but then you get that feeling again, that rush. So in that aspect, that's fine, as long as that doesn't grow into obviously like a bigger actual situationship or friends with
Yeah.
benefits where you get hurt in the end, and that's fine. But yeah, I think that was like pretty much like the only
The only thing.
positive. But
Only
yeah,
if,
because
only if
it's
both
like
of you are so messed up.
yeah, basically. I mean, like yeah,
just
it just
don't
has to be
care.
yeah, it just has to be
Yeah.
kind of more mutual.
Yeah, I mean, if two people are super just not
Not
about
about
being in a
yeah,
relationship or just
that's fine.
any labels whatsoever, sure, it could be a good situation, but it's like I don't know, man. Like just in every other situation, I can't think of anything positive about being in a situationship.
Yeah, I think
Well,
situationship it already has a negative like
Connotation.
context to it, so it's
Yeah.
like I don't know.
well, I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like a situationship shouldn't even exist if it was a healthy situation in
Yeah,
the first
that's
place,
why,
right?
so.
So
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that we said or we talked about was how well it like sorry in my opinion just thinking about it, and I'm still trying to process these feelings, but like I feel like people that are more sensitive or people that are more reserved or quiet, like more introverted people, like can fall into situationships a lot easier because especially people that aren't good with expressing their feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the whole point of being in a situationship is that you don't know how to express your feelings or you can't have the talk and all that kind of stuff, right? But then you have someone that's dominating and, and the dominant person is kind of controlling the whole situation, and that's where it becomes really toxic. But yeah, if you're like more of a passive person, like a quiet person, do not be afraid to speak up because your feelings matter and your words matter and all that kind of stuff. So like that's just that's how I feel like those type of people just fall into situationships easier because they're so submissive or because they're so like quiet and all that kind of stuff too, right? So it's scary being a quiet person.
well, that's a good point, honestly. I feel like, in a situationship, there's always a power imbalance in a
Yeah.
sense. So one person holds all the cards so they can decide, if they don't want to see you anymore,
Yeah.
if.
Or the inconsistencies or
Yes.
don't want to meet you to your family or is embarrassed of you or whatever it is, right? So it's yeah, I think there's definitely a power imbalance when it comes to that situation, which sucks, you know.
Yeah, the basic tip to get out of a situationship is just to communicate.
Yeah.
Basically, communicate that you don't want to be in that situationship, that you want more or less or whatever it is. Just
Yeah.
you know where you stand. Say it, and then if they don't want it, then you're
Honestly,
out.
like from like everything I'm reading about this topic, like you're better off not being in a situationship than being in one. It's never gonna be worth it. You're better off just saying, hey, like what are we? Like I want us to be defined because we've been together for X amount of time. And if the person says, well, I don't know, then, be like, okay, well, I want to be your boyfriend or girlfriend. Is that what you want? If they say no, because, like, again, your feelings are valid and, you need to trust yourself and, like, you got to know what you want. If you want to be in a relationship with this person and forward your relationship, you need to express that, even if it is at the risk of losing that person, because it's not worth it to kind of be in that situation. You're again, like I said, you're better off not being in that situation and expressing your feelings and then moving on to a healthier relationship, right?
Yeah.
Than just staying like that in that limbo, not knowing, and it just gets worse. Like time makes everything worse and harder and more complicated, right? That's why, again, like I was saying before, I think it's really important to know what you want and to decide that and not waste time. Just if this is not a person you want to be with, move on quick and all that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, but not on the first date.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I was being a little dramatic there. Okay. Not on the first date. Yeah.
I mean, it's like to get out of one, I guess. Yes, communication is important, and also knowing what you want for yourself and
Be brave enough to go.
yes.
Yeah.
To leave. Like I mean, like, I don't know. There's a lot of gut feelings, and you should know. If you're confused, there's a thing that just a quote I think I heard. It's like, if you're confused by it, then it's not it. Like, it's not for you. You shouldn't be confused by it. You should know already what
Yeah.
you are, how they feel, because you'll feel it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you have doubts and it's like, oh, okay, he's not really into me, but I love him, whatever. You know, it's like he's not into you. Then you gotta try to move on with someone who, you know, knows your worth. So,
Yeah. I mean,
we know it's hard.
you can't make a husband out of a fuckboy, nor can you make a wife out of a hoe. So, you know, it's like,
It's like, don't do wifey
But if
things.
it's the right
for-
hoe.
no.
I mean, I don't know. Controversial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
I
I'm
feel
just
like
going,
it's
I'm just
like
going
if
off
they-
of that song. That's all.
No, if they believe that you're the one and they feel it, then they'll change. Even if they're a hoe, whatever. You know, some hoes can change.
Yeah. No, I get it. But that's the thing.
They
It's
can
like
settle down.
what I'm saying is the power is you take away your own power, right? Because that hoe needs to decide she doesn't want to be a hoe anymore, and
Yeah.
you're worth it.
Yeah.
So you take away your own power.
What power? What? Whose power?
Okay, we're talking about betting. Okay, again, remember I always talk about like power and control and dynamics like that because I like to be in power.
Yeah,
And
but
have
power
control over
shouldn't-
my life. No, but what I'm saying is like if somebody is sleeping around a lot, right? Or like if someone's a fuckboy or whatever, and I know they're sleeping around or a fuckboy or whatever it is, right? Why would I wife myself up to that person? You know, because more likely than not, you know, it's like knowing something is bad for you but doing it anyway.
Mhm.
It's like that doesn't make sense to me. You know, if somebody is not a good, or like, you know, somebody's a fuckboy and he's like, you know, hooking up with multiple girls, and then you happen to come along and keep him with you for a while, you know, knowing that that person is just hooking up with a bunch of people, then I mean, why are you trying to wife up that person? They're just gonna end up breaking your heart.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're going and trying to find a hoe and like wife them. I'm just saying that hoes can probably change too, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
but
if
I
they-
think,
if you
I think they
like-
have to have already changed. I don't mind you being a hoe in the past,
That's what I'm
but you
saying.
can't
Like,
be a
but
current hoe.
yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, you're like, jeez. No, when they meet you, basically their life has changed, and that's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, I'm
yeah.
not gonna be a hoe. I'm gonna be a hoe to you. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, that's. But yeah. Anyways, off topic.
Yeah.
Any other advice you'd like to give to the situationship listeners out there? Besides, you know, it's like communicate, but
I think I like that they've given this a name, like this relationship, because it used to just be it's complicated.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's what it
That's
used to
true,
be.
yeah.
You know, back in the day when I was younger, when I was a kid, it used to be, yo, this is complicated. You know, on Facebook they had that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like in a relationship.
It's so funny that people
or
actually put that.
It's
there.
complicated. Like that's
Just-
what it was
just don't
labeled
put
as.
anything.
It
Don't put
wasn't
anything.
relationship. Sorry, situationship makes a lot of sense. It's a very clever name. Whoever came up with it, good job.
Because I think situationship, it's like, it's something you just fall into.
Yeah.
That's why it's a situation that just kind of happened.
Yeah.
Whether you liked it or not, it just happened, right?
Have
Yeah.
no intention of like, you know, falling into one. It's just
Yeah. I don't think anyone wants to be in a situationship.
No.
Or if you do, yo, email us at the Awks podcast and we'll talk about it.
What are you talking about right now?
Yeah, if someone actually is going out there willing to be in, I want to hear their side of the story and why they're doing it.
Okay.
That'd be an interesting conversation. Hit us up.
Yeah, defend your side, I guess, basically, is what we're saying.
give us the pros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Educate us.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, again, this, like, the thing about, like, this show in general is, like, I want everything to just be, like, an open conversation, you know, without any judgment.
Yes. So
Or-
comment.
Yeah.
Let us know. I think we're ending it here, wrapping up.
What do you mean?
Well, I
Okay,
mean-
we're, you know, I wanna shout out other people's lives. Those guys, they do a really good job of, like, talking about, like, the most random things you wouldn't even think of, and it's insane. Well, actually, I wanted to give examples of TV shows that are situationships that I think is important that we should kind of put in here so people kind of understand more, so, like, you can see it, right? So, there's a show that we saw recently, Love is Blind, and they just did an anniversary. Like, they released 3 episodes where it was like a 2-year anniversary thing, right? And there's a girl, Gianna, and a guy, Damien, I think that was his name, the two couple, right? They're definitely in a situationship. You see that, and there's even a third girl involved in that show, and that's like the clearest, most situationship, like, because yesterday we were watching, I'm like, oh my god, that's so toxic, like what the hell is that, right? And like you blame both of them for being really stupid. You know, it's like the guy is like super kind of emotionally unavailable to her, right? Not to everyone, just to her. But he's also really kind of, he seems very controlling and manipulative. But then she's also like overbearing, and like it's just really, they're just a really bad couple. You know, they shouldn't be a couple. Yet she really likes him. He's like not sure about it. And they don't have a label. They're not boyfriend, girlfriend. They're not anything, you know? And it's just such a weird situation to see.
Yeah,
Very,
basically it's Love is Blind after the altar.
Yeah.
Janina and
Oh, Janina.
and Damien.
Yeah.
They're yeah, basically they're doing an anniversary episode reunion. Basically you get married at their, like on the show, you're supposed to get married after you meet them for the first time. And yeah, you can tell basically it's just, we were watching it last night and I was so infuriated by it, and like just it's frustrating because it's so sad. Because you can hear how she like really loves him and she like wants something to progress, but then he was like, he's the one that said no at the altar, by the way. So you could tell that I guess he was really not into it, and in that episode he brought another girl to the party, and
it was
then
just a mess.
Yeah, so basically he's not really in it, but it's kind of hard because like obviously we don't know the relationship, how they are behind the cameras, because he keeps saying, oh yeah, that you're like not communicating with me, and I could see that, like that she was just she's very like loud, but she's like, whenever they're in a fight, she's like, yeah, whatever, and then she like closes off to herself. So like if you're not communicating, hey, I want this, then you know, how are you going to progress? So I mean, like it's like you blame both of them, but at the same time it's like yeah, I don't know.
No, but definitely in that situation, like he's definitely the one in power. Like you know what I was saying about power dynamics. But it's weird because she's also really, like, she's an extrovert. Like she's very loud and stuff like that. Yeah. They're just not good for each other. She can do a lot better, you know.
Don't come after us, Netflix.
And he needs to go fuck himself. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. We don't know behind the cameras. But again, yeah. So you just try to define the relationship, get your things straight, move on if you have to. You will heal.
Yeah.
You know, there's like a lot of parts in the episode where it's like, you know, you got your girls basically. It's like, yeah, we're all in it together. You know, we got you. You're worth it. You're good. You know, you'll find someone else if anything, right? It's like it's good to have a support system.
Yeah.
And
so,
you know, don't let this define you, you know.
Yeah.
Like, just keep working and improving on yourself. And I know it's like difficult to think of it that way, but once you start doing it, and once you start, you know, like taking time away from, like, maybe, you know, take time away from dating for a while, just focus on yourself, and
it sounds
you will feel better.
Cliche, but you do, you know, once you do, like, it'll come when you least expect it. That's just how it happens. You hate it, but it happens.
Yeah, there's a meme I saw this Asian girl do. I keep bringing it because I love it so much. But basically, it's like she has an Asian accent. I'm not gonna do it, but she's like, you know, you want to know the best advice to get a man? You just fix yourself up, be really, really happy, and a man will come to just fuck it all up.
Oh, I saw that meme.
Yeah, I think I linked it to you guys, right? Yeah, on TikTok.
I love that meme.
That one's so funny. It's like, yeah, that's how you get a man, you know? You work on yourself, you get to a really high place and be all good and shit, and then a man will just come strolling along.
And fuck it all up. And then you'll start the process again.
Yeah. Anyways.
It's your aura. It's how you feel about yourself. So people are attracted to that. That's why.
Oh yeah, no,
it's
for
just
sure.
how it is.
I mean, it's really sad to think about. Like, it's like when you need the most help, it's like your aura is really bad, you know, kind of thing. It's like when you're in pain or when you're hurting or when you have the most baggage, is when you kind of need someone, but that's when people are at least wanting you, you know?
They can tell.
Yeah.
It's like you want it so bad that it's like, oh, I don't want
It's a
that.
turn off.
Yeah.
It's a smellometer. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's like-
pheromones.
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
smell the sadness off.
Yeah,
Sadness.
You can smell the sadness. You can you can smell the desperation, all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff,
yeah.
right? It's all very prevalent when you're out and about, right? That's why it's like, that's why that meme is so funny, because it's like, yeah, it's when you least expect it. It's when you're really good and happy and just in a place where you want to be, right? That's when someone just comes along and
And
take you to the next level or whatever.
and at that point, you don't need them to make you happy,
Yeah.
right? So
Well, I think that's the point, right? Is that
Yeah.
you shouldn't feel like you need somebody else.
Yeah.
Because when you need someone is when you don't need a partner, like a sexual partner or whatever, right? That's when you need your friends or family. When you feel like you don't need someone is when you're ready for a partner, right? Because
exactly.
it's really, because it's the emotional, it's not just emotional baggage, and I'm not saying that's like wrong, because I think a lot of healing and growth happens with people too. When you're in a relationship, you grow as a person, you heal as a person, and stuff like that. So that can also be really helpful too. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're basing your entire happiness off of somebody else, that's when it's going to be hard, because that's so much pressure on someone to make you feel good or happy and all that kind of stuff, right?
Well, then you tend to put them on a pedestal, and
That too, yeah.
not everyone is perfect, and
No
can't.
one's perfect.
Yes.
Not that not everyone, no one's perfect.
Sorry.
Okay?
Yeah, basically, someone that comes into your life, they should add to your happiness.
Yeah.
You shouldn't expect them to be their happiness.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
Oh, wait, I have more to say.
Oh
Hold on,
my
wait.
So I was just reading. You can plug this in, I guess, at the beginning more so, or the middle, because it's like navigation of the situation, a guide to situationships. So it's like the situationship is actually, it's like a step up from friends with benefits. So it's kind of interesting.
But not by much. I mean,
Oh yeah, no,
I mean,
actually, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Like-
it is a step
like I
up,
was,
yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, that does make sense then, because it's like you do relationship like activities. It's just there's no. I guess basically it's like an open relationship. I think that's kind of what it is.
No, but okay,
obviously,
fine.
there's more like.
Let me explain
feelings.
my understanding of situationships when it comes to open relationships and friends with benefits, right? With friends with benefits, it's defined and there's an exit, right? And you guys both know it. It's there. Same thing with open relationships. In an open relationship, you're together, right? But you're allowed to do whatever, like sexually and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's like it's very open. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But like a situationship, the reason why it is kind of a step up, but also like a step down, I would say, more so, only because it's like you get that undefinedness, because it's like, oh wait, we're not open anymore, so are we exclusive, than one person?
No,
And
that's why.
that's where it gets, that's why I think it's more of a step down, not a step up.
well, there's no boundaries. That's why,
That's why.
when someone does something, or I guess they talk to other people, or they,
Yeah, because in an open relationship,
Yeah. yes,
you guys are both going to be messing around. In a situationship, it's like, am I going to mess around, or am I going to hurt your feelings if I do mess around? Or it's like, then the other person's messing around and then you don't know. It's like, it's so messy, right?
yeah,
Yeah, well, here's some rules. It says, like, rule 1: always remember that the other person does not belong to you, so you know that you're not exclusive, basically. Rule 2: take what they say to heart. So that's why communication is like a huge thing. So it's like it works out properly if you're trying to be in a situationship. Rule 3: pay attention to how the other person is treating you. Rule 4: keep your emotions at a distance so you don't get attached.
Yeah.
Rule 5: use condoms. That's a funny one. I just want to, because you don't want to be stuck with the baby in a situationship. And rule 6: remember you have options. Don't get so caught up in your full relationship that you forget you are technically single,
Yeah.
because that's basically what it is. So that's like a healthier way to go about it
Yeah.
for a situationship. So, sorry, throw that in there.
Yeah. All right. You
Very
can do your exit now.
It's so long. I'm kidding.
Sorry.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And we'll see
Thank
you
you.
again, hopefully with our other friend next time or something. Yeah. Follow us on all our socials. The Ox Talk. Just find us. Just look it up.
Yeah, if you're gonna like,
YouTube.
I think people have been when I say Google us, if you just type in the Ox or Ox, right? If you just type that in, it's not gonna show us because it's gonna correct it to Hawk. Okay, you have to actually type the Ox Talk, you know, full
Okay,
name, and then
yes.
it'll come up on Google. We're number one. Okay.
Leave us a review
Yeah.
if you like it. Don't hate on us, okay? We're trying.
Yeah.
You know, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Send us emails. Give us topics, something to talk about, something you're interested in, anything. You could be anonymous. You could be send it from a new email you don't care about. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
No, I mean,
Ox Talk.
I think
at
you're always gonna be
gmail.com.
anonymous. We're never gonna say people.
Well, no, but I'm saying like if they're like so sketchy, like oh they know me email, blah blah. Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. I see. What you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. You're listening to the Ox Talk
Ox Talk.
Ox Talk.
podcast.